Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to do a more glam makeup look using clean beauty products that I have in my collection. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. I am feeling a little bit glam and very smoky today, so that's what I am going to try to achieve by using all clean beauty brands. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. I've already filled in my brows. I got them tinted today. So we are going to start with the eyes because I don't want any fallout happening. I'm going to prime my eyes using a concealer, and this one is from Ere Perez, and this is the Anika concealer in Chai. I like this one because it's a little bit creamy, but it gives just enough grip for the eyeshadows, and also it evens my lids as well. And I'm not going to set it because the next product that I'm going to use is more of a cream product. So this one is the latest product that I purchased from Aleph Beauty, and this is their cheek slash lip tint in the shade Terra. I purchased this one because it's the perfect brown toned shade, which has a little bit of red to it, but it's not too intense. So I wanted to use this product as an eyeshadow slash contour. So this is what the eyeshadow looks like, and if you sheer it out, it actually makes into a nice cream bronzer. So what I'm going to do is to just apply whatever is on my hand, and this is going to serve as our base for the shadow. I love Aleph Beauty because it's so creamy and it's so pigmented and blendable. And then I'm just going to pick up a synthetic brush. I'm going to use the Real Techniques brush, and I'm going to sheer out the eyeshadow and kind of create a shape. As you can see, once it's blended, it looks like just an ordinary eyeshadow, and I love the shade because it lets me build it up to the opacity that I wanted. And also, if you're the type of person that likes a one and done kind of look, this is a good one to have. I wanted to challenge myself and create a more dramatic look, since the ones that I usually do whenever I use clean beauty are more of a wearable, somewhat smoky but not too intense makeup look. So this one, we are going to go super glam. I could actually get away with just applying like a glitter shadow on top and I'm good to go, but for this look I really want to push it. And also I have an eyeshadow palette that I'm quite enjoying at the moment that belongs to a more clean beauty category, and this one is by Ilia, and this is called the Necessary eyeshadow palette in Cool Nude. They do have the warm nude, but unfortunately it's sold out. So I am going to put a little bit of warmth to my eyes, and I'm going to pick up this shade right here with a blending brush, and I'm going to start blending that on the crease and focusing more on the outer portions of my eye. And then I want to intensify the look a little bit, so I'm going to use a little bit of shimmer, and this one right here is called Overcome. Just be careful of the shade because it's a little bit powdery, so I'm going to apply that and kind of making a V on the outer V. And I'm going to leave like the inner portion of the eye a little bit bare because I want to add glitter. And then I'm going to go and use a clean brush just to blend everything. So I am going to go back to that red shade just to blend everything a little bit. And then with a clean fluffy brush, just try to start blending everything. Now I am going to go to a different product, and this one is from Hourglass. This is their Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow. I am going to apply that on the inner portion of the eye where I left it kind of bare, and I have the shade Ray. I'm just going to use my finger. The bronze specks of the glitter made the eyeshadow that I have even more opaque and pretty. And we are going to move on to the complexion part of the makeup. I've already primed my face with a moisturizer, so I'm going to move on to the base. But before that, I'm just going to quickly conceal the imperfections that I have. I'm going to use the Alep Beauty Concealer Foundation in the shade 4. This is a little bit darker than my skin tone, but it will help counteract all the dark spots that I have at the moment, because the next product that we are going to use has got a little bit of a sheer coverage. I know it's date night, but I have stayed away from having super full coverage on date night because honestly speaking, your date or your partner or your husband, your boyfriend is not even gonna notice how much makeup you put on because of the restaurant lighting or wherever you are going for date night. So I prefer a lighter coverage, that way my skin won't break out and get clogged. I'm going to use a sponge just to pat that in. So for base today, I'm going to use the Kosas Tinted Face Oil, and I have the shade 06. And for this product, you really have to shake it up. And this can get a little messy, so just be careful. I like to use my sponge with this product because I find that whenever I use a brush, it tends to leave streaks. Whereas if I use the sponge, yes, the sponge will soak up majority of the product, but I feel like it kind of pushes the product in where it looks more skin-like. I could use my fingers too, but at the moment I don't feel like getting my fingers dirty. So I'm quite happy with the coverage that it gave, and I don't mind my marks peeking through anyway, because at the end of the day we're just gonna take it all off. I prefer having more drama on the eyes these days. I am going to go back to the Ere Perez Anika concealer, and I am going to use a brush and directly pop the brush in and just conceal on the areas where I have really bad eye bags. So basically around this area right here, as well as on this side, and I am going to clean up the shadow as well. I'm not going to conceal right up my lower lash line because we are going to put some eyeshadow there. So I'm going to just concentrate mainly where I needed it the most. And then I'm going back to the sponge to press everything in. And then I'll just pick up the brush that I was using before with the excess product and kind of just help blend this eye a little bit, just to set under the eye because I tend to crease. I am going to use the Hourglass Mineral Veil Setting Powder. I love this powder because it sets your face, but it doesn't take away the luminosity that you have. So you only need a really tiny bit, and it gives you the most flawless finish as well. I believe they have only one shade of this powder. And I find that you really have to work it into the skin, because if you are going to take flashback photography and you bake with this, it's not gonna work in your favor at all. I am going to lightly contour before I move to the bronzer part. So I'm going to go back to the cheek and lip tint by Lip Beauty, and I'm going to quickly just contour. So I'm going to put some product on my hand, and I'm going to pick it up with a brush just to work the product in. I don't want to go straight because it can get really pigmented, and also the color is a little bit muddy, so we're trying to avoid that. And I'm going to pick up a small stipple brush and slowly work into the cheeks. I love this as a bronzer because it gives you a slight hint of red where it looks like you are flush. At the same time, it gives definition onto the face as well. So I'm going to pop a little bit onto the nose. Voila, we have a slight definition on the face. So I'm going to go back to the powder and then just quickly powder the areas where I skipped before. And for bronzer, I am going to use a Kosas The Sunshine bronzer, and this one is in the shade medium. I absolutely love this bronzer, though it's very pigmented, so my best tool of choice would have to be anything dual fiber. That way you only pick up a teeny tiny bit and you don't go overboard in applying the bronzer onto the face, because it can get a little too much if you're not careful. So I just want a hint of bronze. And then I am going to use a blush, but this time it's more of a extremely red blush, but I'm going to take just a teeny tiny bit of the blush. Again, I'm going to use my hand as the palette, and I'm going to go back to that dual fiber small stipple brush that we have and kind of just apply this. Because it's currently winter here in New Zealand, I kind of want to mimic that face when you're very cold. So that's a little bit too much. So what I usually do is go back with a beauty sponge to kind of just melt that into the skin and also take away some of the pigment. For the highlight, I opted for a cream highlighter because I want that glossy finish whenever the light hits, especially in like dim places. So I'm using the Kosas Color and Light Cream in Tropical Equinox. I have not used this for quite some time. I only use this whenever I'm off work and I'm going to do like a quick grocery shop. Because usually when I go to work, I needed something that will last me throughout the day and it won't let my oil speak through. But for date nights, this is perfect because it catches the light perfectly and it lasts beautifully on the skin. And I like a little bit of glow. Even though I have oily skin, I quite enjoy having a little bit of glow. This is what my face is currently looking like, and I'm gonna go back and set everything whenever I think I need more setting, but for the most part, this is it. I've been loving this type of base recently where it's very light, very glowy and glossy at the same time without feeling heavy or looking too oily. It's more of a controlled kind of glow, especially for oily skin. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to go back to the eyeshadow palette and I'm going to just pick up this shade right here, which is that red shade, and I'm going to pop that all over the lower lash line and connect that to the outer part of the eye. This eyeshadow is very pigmented, especially for a clean beauty brand, which I thoroughly enjoy because usually clean beauty brands, they have amazing cream products, but when it comes to like powder products such as eyeshadow palettes, they tend to be a little bit more hard to work with, less pigmented, but this one is so amazing. So I'm going to just add a little bit of pigmentation to the upper. And I'm going to pick up this darker shade right here with a little bit of shimmer and pop that on the outer V. For the inner corner highlight, I am going to go and use this Ilia Daylight Highlighting Powder, and this one is in the shade Decades. And I am going to pop a little bit of that on the inner corner of the eye. I'm also going to set the Kosas cream highlighter with this highlighter because I want a little bit more highlight. And this for a powder is very creamy to the touch. It's very blendable and I enjoy this formula. So I'm just gonna quickly touch a little bit of my eyeshadow. So here is my makeup done with lashes. So I'm just gonna go back to the Hourglass powder and set the areas where I think it needs more setting because my oils are starting to peek through. And for the lips, I typically don't do a lot for lips, especially if I'm going out for dinner. It's a bad move if you were going to apply a red lip because chances are if you're eating like oily foods such as steak, grilled chicken, or maybe like salmon, it gets everywhere. So my best bet would have to be a lip gloss. Also during wintertime, my lips tend to get really dry. So I have here the Kosas Wet Lip Oil Gloss, and this is in the shade Dip. I only just got this today and I absolutely love the shade. It has that brown tone rosy nude to it with a little bit of sparkle, but the sparkle you don't really see. Here is my Glam makeup look using clean beauty products. I know there's a lot of stigma when it comes to clean beauty products that you can only do natural makeup looks, but honestly there's a lot of clean beauty brands now that offers a more wide selection of products, especially eyeshadow palettes that can give you from day to night kind of look, and I feel like I was able to achieve it. And I kind of wanted to break the stigma of clean beauty because a lot of people think that clean beauty only is geared towards mature women and you can only have like a natural makeup look, whereas this makeup is obviously super glam and I use all clean beauty makeup products. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video because that will help me a lot, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.